Hello and welcome to Day 2 of the 1989 Izvestia tournament from the Soviet Union. I'm Paul Ferguson. With me is Richard Beaupre. In a moment, we go live to the Olympic Hall in Moscow. Well, before we get down to the action, let's take a look at the results so far. Czechoslovakia in their first outing beat the Finns 5-3. Canada 3-2 over Sweden. The Soviet Union an easy victory over West Germany 6-1. And the standings so far, the Soviets, the Czechs, and the Canadians on top as predicted. Sweden, Finland, and West Germany still looking for their first victory of the tournament. Well, the teams are out on the ice. The match we're going to see today, Canada against West Germany.
Canadian side with an average age of 23 have impressed Dave King thus far. Warren Skordensky's played well in the nets. Good defense from Jim Levens and Daniel Poudrier. Ken Loveson with a nice match. Wally Schreiber has played well up front. Lane Lambert with a lot of experience. And Serge Beauvais has done very well. Todd Struby's a very good forward to watch. Todd Brost and the tough Yves Heroux are very well established ice hockey players, with Danny Gretton with a fine goal in yesterday's match.
Well, the West Germans under coach Xaver Unsen will be looking for revenge after their defeat yesterday at the hands of the Soviet Union. On defense, Big Boy, Porkernay, and Kreis. Up front, they've got Niederberger, Kammerer, Tratner, and Trunchka. Keep your eye on number 15, Raymond Hilger. And there's the man, Gerd Trunchka, number 17, Peter Dreisaitl, and Hagen, Dieter Hagen, number 23. They can put the puck in the net. The game has just started. Let's go down to the action now here. The Canadians are playing from right to left in the lighter jerseys, and they really did come through strong yesterday against Sweden. They won 3-2, as I've already said, but it was Sweden for 2 periods all over the Canadians, and it'll be interesting to see what happens today. The West Germans, Kreis getting it up to the far side. Kreis again. They're playing without 10 of their main players. They've got a lot of guys out. On is out through injury, an eye injury, and they've got some guys out through illness. They couldn't practice this morning because of the snow here in Moscow. So far in the tournament, nothing has gone right for them. Kreis gets pushed into the woodwork. Struby doing some good job of forechecking. Taken out of the play there was Brittig. Martin forechecking for the Canadians. Levens hammers that one back into the West German end. The Canadians started slow yesterday. Kreis still out there, headmans the puck, and back comes the West German side. Burke loses control, and it goes back into the neutral zone. Burke squeezed out of the play. Steinbecker all the way through. Ed Belfour gets his first touch wearing number 1 in between the pipes for Canada. Going back for it, number 16, Stefan Steimer, all the way over to the far side. Both teams going for the long pass, dumping it in, going after it. Belfour makes an easy shave on Dreisaitl. The Canadians now, as the teams change on the fly, working it out into the neutral zone. Bobby Dolas taking his time. Schlegel happy to flip that in, offside the call. There's the score, 0-0 here in the early stages of the first period.
Well, due to weather problems with a lack of being able to get on the ice, the teams will be probably changing quickly and feeling each other out, trying to get their legs in the beginning of this game. And things will probably open up as both teams get loose.
Dave King, the Canadian coach, as you said, Richard, was happy with the performance yesterday. Couldn't have been happy with the first 2 periods, but you got to remember, a very young Canadian side, the average age 23. They make about $14,000 to play on this team. They play a 75-game schedule. They've already played over 25 of those games, so they're a third of the way through, but they've got to go right through till April. A long schedule for them, just like the NHL.
Well, it's a good mixture of players from all across Canada, and as the season goes and the team practices more together, all they can do is blend together and get better.
Steven Sinner bringing it in for West Germany, behind the net, right out front, the rebound, kicked away by Belfour, and it's smothered under a mess of bodies there. The Canadians eventually kicked that away out into the neutral zone. So the first chance they're going for West Germany. Sturflinger.
Goalie did well to make the initial save, and it was good work by Odelin to keep the German player away from that rebound.
Lievens is in there to clear away any rebound, but Ed Belfour, who spent some time with Chicago, made sure that the puck wouldn't come loose.
Well, the Germans just attacked the net and trying to make things happen. The puck went in and two forwards went in strong. As we said, the Canadian defense did well to hold them off.
The experienced line here of Trunchka, Dieter Hagen, a lot of experience on the German side. They say they have 10 players out, but they've still got a good side. And over the years, I must admit, I have gained a lot of respect for, or they've gained a lot of respect from me, this West German side. I know several years ago when I was watching in the World Championship, I didn't think much of them, but I've seen them play some good hockey over the past 3 or 4 years, and I think in time, you know, they'll be a force to be reckoned with. Going back, Pokorny up into the neutral zone. The Canadians pick it up. Nemeth flips it to no one in particular, and the West Germans come up with it. Trunchka, Bernd Trunchka that is, pushed out of the play, and back comes Canada. Blaisdell takes a shot, no rebound, he was looking for it, and that was the first serious effort on Josef Pepe Heist to his friends. Good save, no rebound at all.
Well, it's early in this game, and as you can see, anything can happen. Dave King, I'm sure, just told the boys to go out, shoot the puck, let's get it on the net, see if this goalie's going to be loose or not. Let's find out.
This is a cold rink, Richard. You can see once again the ice is picking up, it's chopping up a bit. How does that affect the players?
Well, it does affect play in that the pass work doesn't seem as smooth. You'll see a lot of bouncing pucks. The play will slow down as the period goes on.
The shot by Bobby Dulles, handled easily by Pepe Heist. West Germany taking their time as they work it out into the neutral zone. Picked up on the Canadian defense. Some of these passes going nowhere in particular as they start to get their legs here in the first period. No score here at the Olympic Hall in Moscow. West Germany against Canada. The West Germans working it well between the defensemen now. Canada losing it to number 3, Harold Kreis. West Germans now faking the shot. Brittig, who's come into this game because Berwanger got in a fight yesterday and he's out. Odelin, the long pass taken out, and Gross tried to pick it up at Wanger. Getting it over now. Stratner looking for someone out front. The pass came out, but it was deflected, and back comes Canada. Poudre, a long shot wide of the target. Struve is in there fighting behind the net. Back comes West Germany. Burke, a backhand shot right in front, and a great save. Belfour stacked his pads as he slid across the goal post, or the goal crease there. And now a trickling puck. Eventually number 18, Mitcheller, comes up with it.
Well, the German forwards are on the attack there. Burke and Kammerer are working well together. They're two forwards that really move the puck together well.
Steinbecker giving that one off to Kammerer. Punched in the corner by Lovson. Lovson again. Lievens is waiting out front for that puck. Schreiber. No one comes along to pick it up. Canada eventually coming up with it. Burke now. Harold Burke running into problems along the boards in the neutral zone. Canada. Martin. So both teams getting into the thick of the action here in the first period. Still no score. Lievens, a long shot wide of the target. They change on the fly. Krenner hits it back. Schlegel now for Canada. Schlegel taken out heavily by Leipzig. And they're mixing it up in the far corner. Leipzig and Schlegel, and the signal from the Soviet official Morozov is get off the ice.
Well, the two players came together pretty hard and had a few words. Referee just wants to make sure he keeps control of this game right from the start. He's going to let them both sit down and think about it for 2 minutes.
Roughing the call. Schlegel for Canada, Leipzig for West Germany. Let's take a look at this as they mix it up in that corner. A couple of lefts. Not very serious, I would say.
No, I think he probably asked him what he thought of the weather or something after the first punch was missed.
Reminded me a bit of Come Dancing. So the official stamping his authority on this game in the early stages. Coming back to Udo Kiesling. He's been around a while for West Germany. That's right out front, but there's no one there to pick it up. And the Canadians flip it into the neutral zone, and Kiesling goes back. Pokorny touches it first. Lovson comes up with it now. Some sloppy defensive work by the West Germans. They should have had that one. And eventually they come up with it. Trunchka circles on the far side. Trunchka. Still, it's Trunchka. Lots of time on the puck, but eventually runs into too many white shirts. The Canadians changing on the go here. Frost. Grattan. Grattan, a shot from outside the blue line. Wide as they flip it back in. With Steve Graves out there, as both teams are a man short. Pokorny. West Germany on the attack now. Trunchka pushing it through, but the Canadian defense, an easy one for them. Some sloppy work there. Krinner on the right wing now. Trunchka pushes it back. No one there to pick it up. Hagen got it back to the point. The backhand shot is an easy one by Bernd Wagner. The Canadians now. Graves getting it back. The shot right on the target, but that's an easy one for Pepe Heiss.
Oh, he wasn't really tested there, but it's just more action directed toward that net, and that's what they're trying to do.
Kreis overskated that one. Nemeth drops it back for number 6, Ken Lovson. Lovson couldn't really control that. The Canadians do it all again from center. Nemeth getting set for that shot. Offside is a call. Well, there's our favorite man on the organ again. I have a feeling he's going to follow us right through the week. Lots of great ice hockey action coming up here on Eurosport. So stay with us right through until Friday when we see that big one between Canada and the Soviet Union. This Izvestia Cup tournament started way back in 1967, sponsored by the Izvestia newspaper, and the news is the Soviets have won it 17 times as both teams are back to full strength. Czechs have won it 4, the Canadians won it once in 1987, and the Swedes, Finns and West Germans still looking for their first victory in this tournament. Now West Germany, Brittig couldn't control it. That delayed offside call over to the far side, not a good pass. Kreis, Wagner. Shot all the way around into the neutral zone and back for it. Selmer Odelin. Odelin gets it up. Too far for anyone, and that's going to go all the way down for icing.
Well, both teams a little bit unorganized here. Like we said, it's early in the game. They're finding their legs. They're going to get things going. I don't think he'll take that organ player to get them going, but they're going to get going here, as both teams are just loosening up and pushing that puck toward the net, trying to create some action.
Face off to the left of Ed Belfour as he looks down the ice. Dreisettel will do the honors for West Germany. Martin for Canada. The Germans come up with it. Shot in by Steinbecker. to the far side. Waver had such a good game against Sweden. Martin working his way over. He's got 3 men to contend with. Martin is pushed into the woodwork. The stick is lost. Goes back to the blue line, and it bobbles over the stick as we approach the 10-minute mark here in the first period. Into the neutral zone. Dumped back in by the West Germans. And that appears to be the policy right now. Dump it in, go after it. Typical Canadian style of play. Viceto losing out. Martin getting it over on the wing. A lovely little drop pass taken out at the defense. Schreiber was in there, couldn't get the shot away. Schreiber's back now at the point. Bobby Dolos is having problems in West Germany now on the attack. Kammerer gets it over on the wing, working the way in. The backhand shot, kicked away, just wide there. The rebound came out, and Dolos eventually cleared it away. So the West Germans, despite that defeat yesterday, the hands of the Soviet Union, putting on a good show here in the first period against Canada. Along the boards, Schlegel shoots that one up into the neutral zone, and we'll have another face-off. There's confirmation of the scoreline here in the Olympic Hall in the Soviet Union. Canada 0, West Germany 0. The West German coach, Xaver Unsen, after he saw his player On get an eye injury the other day against the Swedish team in a friendly, is pushing for all his team to go for the full face mask. I don't think a lot of players would agree with that, even though the junior players in hockey now have to go with the full face mask. But that's the kind of thing he wants to see. When you see someone get an eye injury, then that's a bit serious indeed. West Germans coming up with the face-off. Krinner in the corner. Krinner steered out by Danny Grattan. Lovson. Back from the Canadians now on the attack. 3 men up. Hadju, who leads the Canadian camp in penalties with over 50 minutes in the box for this Canadian national side, doing a good job out there forechecking. Lupzig, the far side now. Heru pushes that one into the neutral zone, and the West Germans come up with it as both teams change on the go here. Sinner, Nemeth getting it back. Poudrier, number 17, Steve Graves. Poudrier now. Poudrier waits for his team to get onside. The shot hits a skate. It hits Trunchka, and he's hurt. He felt that one. Poudrier now takes another shot, and that's kicked away. It's loose in front. Pepe Heiss comes to the rescue there. A bit of pushing and shoving as the official gets between Trunchka and Graves, a pair of 17s. And Trunchka really did take a blow on the skate.
Yeah, he sure did, but the defenseman did well to keep Graves away from that rebound, as it was quite a nice shot coming in, and the goalie was struggling a little bit trying to find a handle on that one.
And that should be one of the main jobs of a defenseman. When the goaltender touches that puck, the defenseman looks around either to clear the puck or clear away the opposition.
The defenseman's job mainly is not to worry about where that puck is. You make sure you have the body. The goaltender will have the puck. You take the body out.
Hagen now. Dieter Hagen, shadowed by Nemeth. Oh, a bad pass. A backhand golf shot by Graves. Doesn't really go anywhere at all. And the West Germans, Hagen having problems controlling that puck. Udo Kiesling. Picked up now by Mike Blaisdell. Over the red line. 2-line pass is called there. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with that rule, that's one of the 3 main rules. If a pass comes from your side of the blue line, you pick it up on the other side of the red line, then it's an offside pass, not to be confused with the straight offside. Which occurs, of course, when a player precedes the puck over the opposition's blue line.
Also, a note of change for today is Lane Lambert is not wearing the Sienna's jersey. Steve Graves is the captain of the Canadian side today.
Well, I wonder what brought that about. Dave King, the man in charge of the Canadian camp, as he has been for so many years, knows exactly what he's doing. Going with a young squad, and he's happy after that first victory over Sweden. Canada now on the attack. The shot by number 16, Todd Struve, who got a goal the other day against Sweden, was wide of the target, and that's flipped all the way down. Going back for it, number 12, Lane Lambert. Lambert, who seen action with Quebec, has also spent a couple of weeks in Dusseldorf playing in the West German League. I'm sure a lot of people in Europe would have heard that name before. Struve mixing it up along the boards, and it really does get physical at times.
Oh, that's right. Todd Struve played a nice game against Sweden, and he's a big forward, a big shot. He's got long reach. He's quite aggressive. Really does his job out there. He took the defenseman out pretty hard. He links up very well with Lane Lambert. They had a nice match yesterday together.
Still in the first period, still no score here in the Olympic Hall in Moscow. West Germany against Canada, fairly evenly matched here. Grant Martin, as we take a look at the West German skate of number 24, Krinner. And of course, while he's on the bench, he will be standing on a rubber base there. There's no way you can walk on. For those of you who don't play ice hockey, there's no way you can walk on concrete because the skates are sharpened before every game, and they have to remain that way throughout.
That's right. If you're walking on cement, you'll have no edges on your skates.
Dumped in, Levens, goaltender way out of his net, leaves it, and that's pushed all the way down, and the passes aren't coming off for the West Germans right now. Schreiber works his way in. Schreiber gets that right out front. Number 23, Martin, was there, but he couldn't get a handle on it. Some good work there by Schreiber to split the defense. Physical along the boards behind the net as Martin is dumped to the ice. Boisvert having problems with number 20, Dreisaitl, as the West Germans resort to physical activity behind their own end there. They're not behind their own net, rather. They're not coming up with the puck, but they're taking the body all the way back to the top of the circle. Levens now the shot. The rebound comes out, cleared away by the West German side, and West Germany are under pressure. Belfour leaves it, and the icing whistle blows.
This is a line that does a lot of work out there for Canada. They came up empty on the goal scoring yesterday, but they're a great line to watch, and they never stop working. Grant Martin, Serge Boisvert, and Wally Schreiber. Very good line.
Danny Grattan, Brockman for West Germany, and they'll do that all over again. So important to win these face-offs. Comes back to Pepe Hayes, and he says, let's have that again. Grattan, a lot of pushing and shoving. Grinner in there. A slap shot hits his skate, and that's deflected wide. They've lost sight of it for a moment there. Grinner now over the far side. Bodies flying all over the place. Sturflinger got that into the far corner. Belfour couldn't get a stick on that. And West Germany punching it right out front. The shot hits a body, and eventually number 27, Danny Grattan, gets it up. Too far on the wing. Sinner pushes that back over the red line, and that's a two-line pass, so we'll have another face-off. Lots of snow again on the ice, as it seems to be breaking up quite easily here, making it difficult to make the perfect straight, flat pass that they'd like to make if their Nemeth loses that one. Backhanded pass intended for number 14, Trunchka. Gerd Trunchka now. A weak shot intercepted. Back come the Canadians. Graves got it now. Graves and Blaisdell back to the point. The shot kicked away right in the slot. No one came to pick it up. Trunchka. Pokorny, the defenseman, going in on the backhand side. Pokorny gets that. And that was a difficult one for Belfour, but eventually he got his glove to it. As Pokorny tried to squeeze in between the defenseman and the goaltender and bring that in on the backhand side.
Brad Schlegel did well just to keep him far enough to the outside that he really didn't have any angle. He only had one hand on the stick by the time he got to Belfour. As you see, the score is still 0-0, Canada and Germany.
Still in the first period here. Trunchka out there for West Germany. Martin will do the honors for Canada. Gerd Trunchka, one of my favorite players on the West German side. Seasoned campaigner. Prolific goal scorer. Plays for Dusseldorf, 24-year-old.
You can tell which players are out there for Dusseldorf as you've got the sort of greenish, bluish-green colored gloves. They're all wearing the gloves from their individual teams out there, so they've got sort of a varied selection of colored gloves out there.
The Canadians now. Lievens head-manning it. Number 15 trying to get it across. That's Serge Boisweiler. Oh! And the goaltender ended up in the net, but the puck went wide. Martin was in there. Lievens calling for it. Lievens at the blue line. Lievens backhanding it. Grattan flipped that one in. Trunchka couldn't get that. Martin behind the net. He's got Schreiber. He's got Boisvert. That hit the back of the net. Kreis pushes off the stick and backhands that one, but it's not out. Lieven pushes it back in. West Germany now under pressure. Kiesling up on the wing. Flipped into the neutral zone, and the West Germans come up now. The Canadians getting back. Shot wide of the target by Jürgen Tratner. Still, it's not out. A lot of pushing and shoving along the boards just outside the blue line. Martin pushes that one in, and they change on the fly. Harold Kreis being shadowed by Lambert. Coudrier. A long pass goes into the center ice area. The delayed offside. The hand, as you can see by the official, is up. Canadians bring it out so the whistle doesn't blow. Still, it's Canada on the attack. Todd Brost runs into too many red shirts. Back for it, number 5, Bernd Wagner. Shot all the way down by Brittig. Touched by the Canadians, number 7, Odelin. Coudray wants it. He's got it now. Coudray, a rink-wide pass. The Canadians now. Odelin, a long shot, wide of the net. They're content just to flip it in and go after it. West Germany coming up on the attack. Taken out nicely. That was Hilger, taken out by Brad Schlegel, who's doing a good job in defense. Schlegel stops, works his way over. Schlegel coming in on the shot. Kicked away nicely by Hayes. Still, it's Canada in possession as they work it from the corner. Backhanded out by West Germany, and it's smothered just outside the blue line, so we'll have another face-off.
Good action there. Brad Schlegel, a defenseman, taking charge, making a forward rush, and nearly coming up with a goal himself, doing good work forechecking in the corner.
Still no score here in the first period. Canada against West Germany. The West Germans now over the red line. Hagen, long shot. Belfour decides to call for a face-off. A clever move. The West Germans were coming there. They're ready to pounce.
He didn't look like he liked the situation there. Belfort took a look and he saw 3 German shirts with only 2 Canadians back there, and he decided to cover it up and get the face-off.
Dreisaitl, Harold Burke for West Germany. Danny Grattan wins the face-off for Canada. Now Canada, Levens, Jim Levens, the long shot, just wide, touched neatly by Pepe Hees, still kept in by Yves Hero, behind the net, Danny Grattan. Hadju into the center ice zone, Levens happy just to shove that one into the West German zone. No real pattern to either team's play here. Mitcheller off the boards to no one in particular, and it really is just kind of shooting it into the other team's zone right now. Flipped in, stopped nicely by Poudrier. Poudrier gets round one man, backhands it over. The Canadians, Nemeth, he's got Graves, the slap shot, hits a defenseman. The West Germans getting in front of a lot of these shots, stopped at the blue line. Eventually it trickles out, and back comes West Germany. They have 4 men up, 2 men right in front, and a good pass by Dieter Hagen, and that was the whistle to end the first period. Still no score, a good seesaw battle, at times a bit sloppy, Richard.
Play will definitely pick up here as both teams' passing started getting a lot better near the end of that period.
We've got lots more action to come. Please join us in a moment. Welcome back to the second period at the Olympic Hall in Moscow. West Germany 0, Canada 0. Close, but not classic, Richard.
Not a lot of great opportunities by either team. Pretty evenly matched in the first period. I think they've gotten the bugs out, and we're going to see some good ice hockey here in these final 2 periods.
Well, when the Canadians played Sweden yesterday, it took them a while to get started. The West German side never really did get started against the Soviets. They lost 6-1. The Canadians beat the Swedes 3-2. And in the other game, Czechoslovakia beat Finland 5-3.
There's a lot of talent on all these teams, and it's a long tournament. A lot of games to go. I think there's great things to come.
The Canadians going with a young side, average age 23. The West Germans have a lot of experience out there, but they're missing many of their first team players.
Well, that's right. You've got a lot of experience with Trunchka and some of these players out there, but I'm sure the German coach has got to be happy with what he sees at this point.
Graves got that one back to the point. The shot, Schlegel, who's played so well, wearing number 28. Nemeth backhands that right out front. Graves waiting for it. The deflection off a player ends up on Trunchka's stick now. Trunchka, Dieter Hagen. Hagen takes a shot, and that's tipped high, and that'll be a souvenir for someone in the stands.
Poudrier carrying a Gatorade bottle out with him. He's probably going to take that out and leave it for the goaltender to have a little shot. There he is, setting it on the net. That'll give Ed Belfort a chance to have a little drink when he feels he's got the moment to squeeze it in.
Brittig in the face-off circle, along with Todd Brost. Poudrier now. And we're going to have a penalty. Number 19, Todd Brost, going in the penalty box for Canada.
Well, after that face-off, the puck went back to the Canadian defenseman, and he's very, very nonchalantly but deliberately did interfere with the German forward who was on the attack.
The youngster who comes from the University of Michigan will sit it out for 2 minutes. A power play situation for West Germany. Christian Brittig. Hilger is out there, along with number 10, Tratner, back to the point. Kreis gets it in. Brittig. Kreis. Still West Germany. Kreis takes a shot. Kicked away. Kreis again. Over to the far side. Slap shot is deflected wide. Wagner getting a piece of that. West Germany setting it up. The Canadians setting up the box in front of the net. Right in front. Not to the net. The Canadians deflected that one into their own net. The shot came from behind. Tratner. That was more of a pass. The defenseman went down, and that's in the back of the net.
Well, as the German forward came to the front of the net with that puck, I believe the culprit was Odelin, who was just sliding down to try and block that pass going to the forward in front of the net, and he deflected it behind Belfour.
So the first goal goes to the West German side, a power play situation. Jim Levens shoots that one all the way in as the Canadians come back on the attack after that early goal by the West German side. Right out front, the goaltender's down, the loose puck. The shot eventually bounces off the plexi, and we're going to have another penalty on the play. The Canadians have it. It's going against West Germany. Tipped in. The goaltender, Belfour, is out there. He just got to the board, so the Canadians couldn't throw on the extra attacker. The whistle would have blown as soon as the West German side had touched the puck. Let's look at that goal now. This is the power play situation.
Jürgen Tratner behind the net, little give and go situation. Forward looks, gives it back to him, starts to break for the net. He's looking for the other forward across the goal mouth, and the puck goes in off Odelin into the net.
Meanwhile, Mitcheller goes in the box for West Germany, so now it's Canada with the power play. Cross-checking the call. Morozov calling it tight out there, not letting anything get away.
Well, it was an inevitable situation with Boisvert and Martin applying a lot of pressure around the net. He was behind the forward who was going for the rebound and felt he had to cross-check him to keep him away from putting the puck in the net.
So it's Schreiber, Martin, and Boisvert who played so well. Haven't come up with a goal yet, but it's early days. They're on the power play for Canada. Loveson over to the far side, back to Loveson. Loveson. Serge Boisvert along the boards, losing control, and West Germany comes up with it now. Dieter Hagen decides to go for a skate. Hagen to Trunchka, over to the far side to Udo Kiesling. Kiesling flips it to center. Schreiber now. Schreiber running into problems at the blue line. Loveson hammers that one all the way around to the far side. Lambert pushes that back behind the net. Martin kicks it, looking for someone to pass to. Hagen gets to it first and pushes it out into the center ice zone. Schlegel. Brost. Dulles. The Canadians with this power play situation. Puck bouncing all over the place and eventually ends up down with the Germans in possession. Trunchka leaves it. Dieter Hagen runs into Lambert, and Wagner just shoots it out into the neutral zone. The Canadians having problems getting this power play situation going.
Well, the Germans showing all their experience out there to kill this penalty with Hagen and Trunchka up front. 34-year-old defenseman Udo Kiesling with all kinds of experience back there, doing anything he can do to get the puck out.
Well, that was batted down by number 27, Danny Grattan, and the official quick to spot it. If the puck is touched when the stick is above the shoulders, then it's a whistle.
Well, Grattan with a little bit of a baseball move there, trying to bat that puck into the net. Bit unfortunate for him, and the puck happened to bounce up that high. He was wide open in front of the net. And upon high sticking it, the face-off goes all the way back down into the Canadian zone.
Mitcheller, number 18, still in the penalty box for West Germany. Brittig losing the face-off. Poudrier. Poudrier now for Canada. Took a bit of time. Offside the call, you can see. Players trying to slam on the brakes just as they reach that blue line. They can, of course, straddle it, but they can't go over it with both skates. Both teams now at full strength. West Germans, number 18, Klaus Mitcheler, stepped back on the ice, so they successfully killed off that penalty. No real threat to the West German goal. Oderlin. Grattan. Grattan runs into trouble along the boards. Grattan now again having problems with Hilger. Canadians, Hadju. Grattan wants it in the corner, but the West Germany side with 5 guys back come up with the puck. Brittig. Still it's Brittig. Backhands it into the corner. It's eventually brought out to the blue line. Marshall. Poudrier gloves that one forward. West Germans come up with it. Brittig. Brittig to number 10, Tratner. Tratner taken out of the play. Danny Grattan pushes that one all the way down the ice. And that's an icing call coming up to the 5-minute mark here in the second period. The West German side lead by 1-0 over Canada. Well, that organ player seems to be having a whale of a time up there. An easy shot. The pace slowed down after it took a deflection. Ed Belfour calls for a face-off, and we'll do that all over again.
The teams seem to be having a little trouble getting going and opening this game up. But as you said, Paul, that organ player, he isn't having any trouble jumping into his cues.
Ken Loveson. Still it's Loveson. Being shadowed there by Dreisaitl. Getting it up to Lambert. Over to the far side, intended for Struby. Struby forechecking now. Back comes West Germany. Far side, number 8, Burke. And Kammerer just a step offside. So we'll have another face-off just outside the blue line. Stop-start action out there. No real flow to the game yet. A lot of young players on both sides, but still some experience in both sides. You know, you've got guys like Udo Kiesling out there, Trunchka for West Germany, and the Canadians, Skorodensky, the goaltender from yesterday, has been around, a youngster, but he's seen some action with the Canadian national team. The goaltender today played some time, spent some time with Chicago, Lambert, Quebec. So they've all seen it all, done it all before. Now Martin getting it right across, and that eventually is pushed into the corner. Brad Schlegel couldn't get there first. A long pass to the far side. The shot by number 22, Lupsik, kicked away. Another shot right on the target. The goaltender fanned on the first attempt and eventually came up with the save.
Good move by Ed Belfour. Good move. Take that face off. It's a nice lead pass thrown up there, and Lupsik got the shot off. The Canadians looked a little bit unorganized once again around their net.
When in doubt, the goaltender should hang on to it. And he did just that. 1-0 the score. West Germany leading here in the second period. Some problems with Belfour right now, making some adjustments to his equipment.
I think when he dove forward for that puck, he may just as well have winded himself. He got up a little bit slow. I think he's trying to catch his breath.
Well, a quick drink, a little stretch. Morozov, the Soviet referee, giving him lots of time. Very sporting gesture. Back to the point. Number 2 there, Pokorny. Flips it back right out front. Oh. And a save by Belfour, I don't think he knew he had it.
Well, the shot did come quickly from the point. Maybe that little moment of catching his breath did him some good, though, as he came up well.
It's a replay of that save by Belfour, as we had a quick look at Xaver Unsen, West German coach, taking notes. As we said yesterday, the European coaches like to get the old stopwatch out there, the pad and paper. That's flipped out, and a good save by Belfour on Dieter Hagen. That could have been dangerous. There were red shirts floating right in front of the crease. Hagen with Trunchka, and Trunchka. Loveson now. Gratz in circles, wants it on the far side. Coming back, the Canadians. They work their way to the blue line, but are stopped. Trunchka flips it across. Hadju pushes it behind the net. Odelin. Another good save. Belfour being called on here in the second period to hold the Canadians in the game.
Well, the Canadians are showing the same trouble they had yesterday early in the game, as the breakout is not going very smoothly for them.
They appear at times to be flat-footed, don't they?
Yeah, not just flat-footed, also they're out a bit high and they're not coming out as a unit. They've got to come out more with the 5 men they've got on that ice.
Who knows, maybe this young team is a third-period team. We saw them go crazy yesterday against Sweden. It looked like Sweden was controlling the game for the first 2 periods as they called for another face-off, pressing that against the boards. But then Canada came alive in the third period, popped 3 goals and won the game. Right now it's West Germany 1, Canada 0 here in the second period. Vidic in the face-off circle. Todd Ross will do the honors for Canada. Vidic trying to kick that one loose, along with number 10, Tratner. Tratner holding the stick of the Canadian player. You can see that. The referee couldn't. And back comes Lambert. Lane Lambert. Lambert up to the blue line, passes over, breaks for that net. Lambert now, he's got players out front. Lambert squeezed out, eventually comes up with the puck. Lambert works his way, takes the shot. Deflected high. Lambert had a good chance there, kept a cool head as he worked his way to the top of the circle, took the shot, and will have a face-off. He did have players positioned to the far side of the net, but it was a good opportunity to shoot.
That's right, he came out of that corner quickly and took the shot as Todd Struby was all tied up with a defenseman in front of the net.
Martin, Boisvert, Schreiber. Draisaitl, Burke for West Germany.
This is that Canadian line that's fun to watch, and I do have the feeling if they score 1 goal, they might get many, many more.
Serge Boisvert back to the point. West Germany doing a good job along the boards of forcing the Canadians back. They have to regroup, start all over again. Loveson getting it up on the wing. Schreiber's there. The long pass goes all the way back. Schreiber pushes his man into the boards. The Canadians keep it in. Still getting physical as number 23, Martin, throws his weight around. Draisaitl now. Draisaitl working in. Right in the top of the slot, there's a man right in front of the net. Axel Kammerer was left all alone. Schreiber now. Schreiber leaves it. And eventually Belfour pounces on it. And some sloppy play, a man left all alone in front of the net, and they're having problems again.
Once again, it's that defensive zone for the Canadians that seems to be breaking down. They've got to move that puck out quicker.
This game is live, coming from the Olympic Hall in the Soviet Union. Canada against West Germany, the Izvestia tournament in its second day. The Germans looking for their first victory of the tournament, the Canadians looking for their second. Nemeth Shoots that one away, but not far enough, and back comes Canada now. The Canadians, Nemeth number 10, dropping it back, the backhand shot, wide of the target. Graves has it as he's pushed into the board by Nemeth. Some confusion behind the net, and West Germany comes up with it. Krinner to the far side.
Away from the play, Steve Graves is limping off the ice. I think he caught a Charlie horse, or a dead leg as some people know it, and he went off for a quick change.
Dulles dropped it back. The Canadians on the attack, coming down the right wing. Hadju stops, Nemeth is with him. And again, that shot out down the ice, going back for it. Jim Levens icing the call.
Well, the play has slowed down a bit once again. Both teams seem very sloppy out there. They're going with quick line changes to try and make something happen. Not even a lot for the statisticians to do right now. They don't have a lot to report.
The Canadians holding on, dropping it back. Going for it now is Danny Grattan behind the net. Punched all the way back, number 21, Yves Heroux. Flipping it over to Jim Levens. Levens gets it back into the West German zone. The Canadians now with Hadju right in front, and they just couldn't get the handle on that one. Udo Kiesling gets it out, but Hadju comes up with it. Hadju to Heroux. Levens pushes that in. Hadju takes a swing on it. Pokorny leaving it, and that comes up on the right side. Udo Kiesling. Kiesling winds up, takes a shot that's high and wide of the target. Trunchka took a slap from number 21, Heroux, before he got rid of that pass. That one's shot all the way down. Touched by the Canadians, no call by the official. I think they were expecting the icing call. Heroux golfs that one to the blue line, and Canada now with two men forward. The shot right on the target. Struby got a piece of that one. They're getting these long shots, but not really that dangerous. Pokorny, Dieter Hagen put it right in the middle as Dulles gets set to jump on the ice. The goaltender way out of his net. The Canadians now with a chance. Back to the far point. Loveson takes a shot, and that hits number 4, Udo Kiesling. Richard, I saw you cringe when he took that shot. He could have done better, right?
Well, he had 3 men in front of the net. He really didn't make the best attempt with that one.
The whistle has blown, and bodies are flying as they start to mix it up in the corner with Struby. And Kiesling, both not afraid to throw their weight around.
No, a couple of big boys there.
Trunchka bringing his man down. And a bit late, but Trunchka eventually works his way into the penalty box for tripping. So he'll be there for 2 minutes, and again, the Canadians will have a power play situation.
This could be a golden opportunity for him to get back into this game. They've got the chance with the power play right here.
They trail by 1-0 here in the second period.
There you see the score. West Germany 1, Canada 0.
Coming back to the point, Schlegel. Poivert from a sharp angle decides to fake the shot. Wagner got a piece of that. Still, it's kept in by Canada. Pushed against the boards is Poivert. Wagner roughing it up. Martin is spun around. Poivert gets it back to the point. The shot bobbled, bounces. That's loose. It's still free. Oh, and that goes wide of the target. Schreiber puts it back to the point. A slap shot is taken, and that is kicked away. Schreiber comes up with it now. Schreiber spun around. Still, it's kept in by Canada. Schlegel's racing for it. Schlegel takes a weak shot into the corner. Schreiber now. They're all around the West German net. West Germany with a man in the penalty box. Gerd Trunchka is in there for 2 minutes for tripping. And eventually the West German side get it all the way down to Ed Belfour, who pushes that up on the wing. Canada back on the attack. Schreiber overskates it. Lambert now Lambert works his way in. The backhand shot is kicked away by Pepe Hees. Number 27, Danny Grattan's calling for it on the far side. Canada, as West Germany set up the box. Canada in a power play. The slap shot for the point is kicked away. Lieven's getting a piece of that. Schreiber. Still it's Canada in possession. Working their way in. Schreiber takes the shot, and again the goaltender comes up with a save. Joseph Pepe Hayes took that one from point blank range and came up with a key save.
There you see Wally Schreiber coming off the boards quickly, moves right into that slot area down low. Heiss with a nice glove save on that. As Schreiber and Lane Lambert did some nice work controlling that puck.
Excellent goaltending in this tournament so far. We saw yesterday Aslan for Sweden, Skorodensky for Canada, and it really is good stuff from these youngsters. Right now it's Joseph Pepe Heiss's turn to shine for West Germany. Dieter Hagen in the face-off circle goes into the corner. Canada still with the power play. Steve Graves trying to do something. West Germany gets to it first, and we have another whistle.
Well, they've thrown three different forwards out there now, Graves, Gretton, and Lane Lambert, to try and get something going here. Germans are taking the body well, though. They're forcing the play, and they're making the Canadians do something with that puck. They're not giving them a lot of time to play around with it.
Danny Grattan, who scored against Sweden, will do the face-off honors. He's out there with Lambert. Havens on the point. Udo Kiesling, the seasoned veteran for West Germany, goes out there to help kill off this penalty. An all-important face-off for both teams here in the second period. German side comes up with it. Graves eventually spins around. Grattan, still it's kept in. Canada, a little cat and mouse to the far side. Not held by Lambert. The bouncing puck that nicely by Danny Grattan now. Grattan flips it behind the net, but there's nobody there at all. Pokorny gets it. It's kept in by Canada. Grattan goes back to Grattan behind the net. He's taken into the boards. Trunchka is back on the ice. Right in front, no one there to pick it up in a red shirt, and back comes West Germany. Kiesling waiting for that return pass that didn't come off. The whistle blows and we'll have another face-off. There's the scoreline here in the second period. Canada 0, West Germany 1. On that goal that was deflected in, Tretner started the puck in motion, but Oderlin, the big defenseman, put it in behind Ed Belfer. Still it counts no matter how it goes in. Bobby Dallas pushes that behind the net. Eventually it bobbles out front. Sturflinger having problems. Canada back on the attack now. Blaisdell stops, runs into problems with number 22, Leipzig. That goes all the way around to the far side, and the West Germans just happy to kill off time here in the second period. Krinner losing out. Nemeth to the far side, too far for anyone. Struby tied up. Leipzig punches that one into the Canadian zone. The slap shot wide of the target. Tratner chasing, eventually Canada into the neutral zone. Grittig. A loss of concentration there, a loss of puck control on this ice surface. And eventually it goes all the way back to Pepe Heiss. Struve keeping the pressure on. Harold Face over to the far side. The attempt to tap it down failed. That goes all the way down, and number 7, Selmer Oderlin picks it up. Pass up the boards. Canada now Boisvert, nice move. He couldn't get around the second one, but Martin comes up with the puck. The shot by number 7, Odelin, an easy one for the goaltender, and we'll have another face-off.
Well, the Canadians had gotten the line change, and the Germans were trying to get one as the puck went into their zone. Face-off was a good thing to happen there, because now the Germans can get fresh legs out on the ice.
At times they are going for, well, almost 2 minutes without a whistle. It's difficult. You've got to play it right, don't you? We're just over the 15-minute mark here, as you see, in the second period, but you've got to play it right when you're changing your lines. If not, you really do get caught out.
That's right, especially when play gets like it is now, dumping it in, wide open hockey. You're finding that the lines can be out there a long time if they don't use their head and change on the fly. You always do it when your team is on the offense.
Martin backhands that one to the side of the goal. Schreiber now has it. Boisvert circling in front. Schreiber, Martin takes a shot at it. Nothing serious for the goaltenders. That goes wide. Trunchka. Pokorny. West Germany, Kiesling getting it back. Less than 5 minutes remaining here. Offside the call in the second period. Scoreline, West Germany 1, Canada 0. The West Germans looking for their first victory of the tournament. They were unfortunate enough to meet the might of the Soviet Union yesterday, and they lost 6-1. I'm sure they're much happier with their performance today. I think a lot of people expected the Canadians to possibly walk this one. Personally, I didn't. Got a lot of praise for the West German side. That was a giveaway. West Germany now working their way in, and some good defensive work there as Trunchka was right in there. Some good defensive work by Canada. Took the sting out of that attack. Trunchka now to the far side. Bernd Trunchka right in front looking for Dieter Hagen. It's a good line for West Germany. Hagen dropping it back for Pokorny. Gerd Trunchka. Trunchka has lots of ice out there. Trunchka into the slot looking for Hagen. The Canadians come up with it and push it forward. Jim Levens is spun around. Offside the call. And we'll have another face-off just outside the blue line.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, everyone expecting Canada to maybe walk through this one. It's never a situation in these tournaments. As teams like Germany, West Germany can get very excited to play the Russians, the Canadians, the Swedes, the Czechs. They're all top-level teams, and there's good experience and a lot of talent on all these teams. They get up for these games.
Well, they missed their early morning practice. As I said, today they couldn't get here because of the snow, and maybe that did them some good. Graves now. Steve Graves, who plays in Finland for Turku, circling, dropping it back. The Canadians got all 5 men up front. Graves is right in front of the net. Graves is all alone. Now there's someone there to pick him up. Draisaitl has come back. The Canadians now in possession. One too many turns. That's right in front. The shot. Oh, and a great save. Graves was brought to the ice, and there's going to be a penalty on the play. High sticking the call. Number 17 was right in front of the net. Had the chance. The goalie came up with it. And now he finds himself in the penalty box. Not a good move by Captain Steve Graves there. As there was great work by Mike Blaisdell. Worked hard to get that puck to him. He was robbed by Heiss with a very nice save. Then out of sheer frustration, brought the stick up very high on the defenseman and took a high sticking penalty. Very high indeed. You can see that stick going right across the face of the West German defender. So it'll cost him 2 minutes. So the pressure will be on the Canadian side. And I'm sure Steve Graves wishes he could have that one back again. Not only the shot that he was robbed out of, but the action that followed. As he's put his team shorthanded here, and the West Germans have a chance for a power play. Pokorny behind the goal, bringing it up on the left wing is Dieter Hagen. Hagen couldn't control that bouncing puck, and the Canadians fired back in. Ludo Kiesling now. Hadju gets there first. Back to the point. A weak shot, and that trickles into the corner. It's still Canada. Schreiber had you now going after it. Canadians putting on the pressure here, despite the fact that they have a man in the penalty box. Trunchka. Pokorny getting it through. Udo Kiesling backhands that one around. And the West Germans now in control. Back to the point. Pokorny. Trunchka. Gerd Trunchka circling in front. A weak shot there. The Canadians come up with it now. They've got a break. 2 men forward. Just 1 man back. Pokorny working his way in. A lovely drop pass. The shot comes right in, and the goaltender pushes that one away as Dieter Hagen comes back, circles nicely, and comes up with the puck. Dieter Hagen, the line, 3 of them up there. Hagen leaves it back. A good move. Look, oh, they score! Wagner, number 5, took that shot, and it didn't look like a difficult shot at all. Perhaps Belfour was screened on it, but that one is in the back of the net. And now West Germany leads 2-0. Let's take a look at this again.
Puck was moved down the ice. Dieter Hagen with a nice little drop pass. He was looking for Trunchka. Couldn't find him. Left it for Bernd Wagner. He just took the quick wrist shot, and it beat Belfour. There you see it again. There's Wagner. Just snaps a quick wrist shot. Belfour was not looking very sharp on that one as he was caught going down.
He tried to squeeze that one between the arm and the body, and it didn't come off. Not a difficult shot. It wasn't. It was a wrist shot. Icing the call here. There's the score line. And the Canadians won't be happy with that one. That was a routine save, I'm afraid. No one's screening him there. No deflection. But it does happen. Anything can happen in ice hockey.
Well, they've got to pick the pace up. They're down 2 goals. They're not playing that well at the moment. They've got to pick it up. The Germans are probably going to be lifted by that goal as well. I imagine they're going to try to apply intense pressure here, increase that lead.
So the West Germans lead 2-0 here in the second period. The pass too far for Serge Boisvert. Going back for it is Hilger. The West German side at times looking very composed, very confident. That's right out front. And some tripping showing in front of that net, possibly showing the frustration on the part of the Canadians. Ken Loveson now in control. Loveson gets that one up too far for Boisvert as the Canadians change on the fly. Coming up to the 22nd mark in the period. Loveson. 15 seconds now. The Canadians shoot it to the West German blue line. Canada coming back. Less than 10 seconds through the Loveson. They got a chance possibly for one shot. They're not going to get it away. The far side of the rink. There goes the buzzer to end the second period. And it was West Germany who dominated. There's the score line. West Germany 2, Canada 0. West Germany coming up with 2 power play goals, one from Tratner, that deflection off Orlin, and then Wagner picking up that soft goal just before the end of the period. Join us in a moment for more ice hockey action on Eurosport. Welcome back to the third period here in this game between Canada and Germany. The Canadians with everything to do now as they trail by 2 goals. 2-0 is the score. They'll be playing from right to left. They did it against Sweden. They came back and eventually won the game. Richard, can they do it this afternoon against the West German side?
Well, we're about to find out if they truly are a third period team or not. They've got it all to go for here as they're down 2-0. 20 minutes left. Yesterday they came out with a blaze in that third period. We'll see what happens today.
Well, Graves brings Trunchka down. What a way to start a period.
Well, if that's anything to say for what's going to happen in the next 20 minutes, we're going to have a lot of action here.
And the pushing and shoving, the official gets in there. Referee Н.Морозов says, look, stay up, stay out of the circle, and wait till the puck is dropped. Both players, Trunchka and Graves, keen to get this game underway here in the third period. Kiesling gets it over to the far side. Trunchka circles. Trunchka right on there as Belfour leaves it back. A bit of a confusion there as Schlegel eventually pops it round. Graves behind him. Nemeth run out of the play by Kiesling, some pushing and shoving, and they're coming out, and they mean business, both sides. Trunchka now works his way in, stopped by the Canadian defense, and back comes Graves. He's got Nemeth. Nemeth dropping it back to Graves, pushed forward to Nemeth. Trunchka steers his man out of the play, as does Kiesling. Blaisdell getting a paw in there on Kiesling, as does Nemeth. Blaisdell now trying to work his way out, and he's brought to the ice. Nemeth chasing it. Graves getting it back to the point. The shot deflected away, kept in by the Canadians, pushed into the far side. Leavens out there on the point. Still, it's Canada. They come out flying here in the third period. Dieter Hagen now takes his time, settles things down for West Germany as the teams change on the fly. He waits for his teammates to get on the ice.
Well, as that first line changes for Canada, they certainly look hungry. Let's see what else is coming here.
Todd Bross pushes that one around to Jim Leavens. Intercepted by the West German side.
Very important that West Germany does not try to play defensive hockey in this period. They've still got to go on the offense and be attacking that Canadian goal. They don't want to try and sit on that 2-0 lead.
Pepe Heiss steers that one away from Lambert. Tratner to the far side. Slow, deliberate build-up by West Germany, and eventually they punch it in, and icing is the call as Jim Leavens gets the touch. 2-0 the score here at the Olympic Ice Hall in the Soviet Union.
Well, the Germans have got a couple defensemen that they really rely on heavily, and I think Dave King probably said, look, let's get the puck in that end, and let's really work on those defensemen, force them into making mistakes, and let's wear them down.
Push it into their corner all the time. Kiesling, you know, he's been out there a lot this game, as has Pokorny. Make them work, make them skate a lot. Put it there, over to the far side. Canadians now head-manning the puck. Weber, Schreiber. They can't keep it in. Poudrier getting it through. Schreiber taken out. You can see the West Germans getting 5 men back. Oh, that's going to be a penalty. Martin is not impressed with that call. Grant Martin says something in English to the Soviet official. I'm sure he understood what he said, even if he doesn't speak the language.
Well, he was caught cutting the wrong way, put the hook on the forward ring, the neutral ice area.
So not what the Canadians wanted here at the start of this third period. Power play now. Let's look at this again. There's the hook after 2 chops.
Hey, gave him a couple of very nice complimentary chops before he did put the hook on him. But it was definitely a hook, and he's in the box for 2 minutes as a result.
We should point out to the viewer who may be unfamiliar with this sport, they do have shoulder pads, arm pads, and elbow pads, but it still hurts when you get a chop like that on the arm.
Oh, it most certainly does. And usually a player can get away with 1, maybe 2, depending how intense that whack really is, but the referee isn't going to let him get away with very many of them.
West Germany now on the attack. Dreisaitl up to Kammerer. This power play here, they've managed to score on 2 power play situations. Tratner and Wagner doing the damage for the West German side. Can they do it again? Boisvert doing some back checking. Lievens takes his man out. Canadians stopping them before they start in the neutral zone. Happy to shoot this one all the way down the ice. No icing, of course, when it goes over that red line when you have a man in the penalty box. Schreiber's out there for Canada. Boisvert. All the way down. Back forward is Andreas Pokorny. Witzig flips it behind the net. West Germany. Trunchka works his way over the blue line. He's got Hagen working there, and he's got Udo Kiesling. Kiesling takes the shot. That's kicked away. Hagen takes the swipe at it. It's loose. Trunchka goes in. Couldn't get the shot away, and eventually it's backhanded out down the ice, and back forward is Kiesling. A good chance there for Canada. 10 seconds left on the power play for West Germany. Worked in nicely by Schlegel. Schlegel, they'll be happy to keep the puck at that end of the ring. Todd Rost. The Canadians back at full strength now. Tratner has trouble along the blue line. Grittig to the far side. Smashed out of the boards into the boards rather by Struby. Oh, the long pass. The whistle blows, and you can see the officials' arms, both of them stretched out to signal the two-line pass. The Canadians not happy with that, but the officials right on the spot there to signal that pass went over the blue line and the red line. There's confirmation of the score here in the third and final period. 2-0 for West Germany over Canada.
Everybody in the rink was yelling for that two-line pass, and once it was whistled, the Canadian forward rifled the puck into the corner out of frustration, and the referee has just had a word with him about shooting the puck after the play. You're not allowed to do that. And once again, that's a discretionary call if the referee wants to. He can be nice and warn you once, or he can give you a penalty for it.
Grittig getting it over to Odelin. 5 minutes gone here in the third period. Drost too far for Poudrier. He goes back into his own corner. The Canadians will start out once again. Struby takes it over the blue line, offside the call. Give the teams a chance to change their lines as Dave King shouts out some words of wisdom as he chomps on that gum. Some words of encouragement. Inspiration has to come from somewhere. For Canada, they trail by 2 goals. And they're running out of time. Danny Grattan, Poudrier, over to Odelin. The shot wide as Hadju goes in. Hadju pushed out by Wagner to the far side. Grattan now pushes his man in. Heru's got it behind the net. Heru works that one right across. It's right in front, and West Germany come up and they come back on the attack. Lupzig. Still it's Lupzig. Floats that one around to the far side. Hadju messes it up on the boards now. Poudrier, the defenseman, coming down from a sharp side angle right in front. Still, it's Canada. Heru trying to squeeze that one around right in front now. Hadju on the backhand side. Hadju being pushed around by number 20, Draisaitl. Canada lose possession. West Germany on the attack with 3 men over on that far side. And that's a good pass, but it's 2-line pass as Andreas Lupzig was waiting on the far side of the red line. So the teams change their lines again. West Germany still in control in this game. They lead by 2. Canada yet to put anything on the score sheet. And you can see how anxious they are in these face-offs. Boisvert on the far side again. Starts to push and shove.
Camera and Boisvert both fighting for position here as they want to keep that puck inside the blue line if they can. And Camera wasn't going to allow him to line up as he wanted to. Now it's pushed out, and West Germany. Draisaitl
in the corner being tied up nicely by Martin. It goes back to the point, not out. The shot took a deflection, eventually trickled to the Canadian defense, and Lievens cleared it. Schreiber now. Schreiber with Boisvert and Martin. Boisvert stops. Misses the first pass, and that's chucked over the plexi, and we'll have another face-off. Who do I give it to, he says. Should I give it to a spectator? Should I give it to the official? Well, there you go. Isn't that nice? A souvenir for someone here just a few days before Christmas. And he gets a well-deserved round of applause. Back to the live action. Canada still struggling here in the third period. Bobby Dulles. Dulles now over the blue line, over the red line, along the boards to the far corner. Nemeth. Dieter Hagen in there, goes back to the point, the shot, way wide of the target. They got to start hitting that net. Schlegel, the defenseman who's worked hard throughout this game and against Sweden yesterday. Trunchka is hammered by Graves. Trunchka comes up with the puck though and gets it back to the defense. Nemeth foreshadows. Udo Kiesling. Kiesling up along the boards, and the Germans will do that all night. They're happy just to punch it in, let the Canadians go back for it, and that kills off time here in the third period. Icing the call as that was shot from the Canadian side of the red line, and it went all the way down the ice, untouched by anyone, and eventually touched over the goal line there by the West German side. So the face-off will come all the way down in the Canadian zone.
There you see Wagner touching the puck, but paying the price even just to touch the puck for an icing call as he's boarded nicely out of the play. A very legal check right at the point of the whistle being blown, which can be a good sign, I suppose, for the Canadians, is that they're playing this puck right to the whistle.
West Germany equally as physical in this contest, not giving anything away. The pass up to Struve, too far from him as he works in against number 3, Face shadows, and eventually Hilger comes up with it. Hilger for West Germany. Hilger now down on the side, taken out nicely by Selmar Ordelin. Poudrier, a long pass up to Struve, and he flips it in as they do the old dump and run. Pepe Hayes comes out as Grost was right there to get that puck had it come loose.
Good play by Hayes to take that face-off as Grost was breaking in, as right at the blue line, Todd Struve was stood up by the defenseman nicely. He dumped it in. Grost was on the attack. Good move by Hayes to cover that puck.
2-0 the score. West Germany over Canada here in the third period. Schreiber, Martin, Boisvert. A weak shot right in front. The puck is loose, and eventually number 13, Sturflinger, comes up with the loose puck. Goaltender is down. A long shot wide of the target for West Germany. Lubsig fired that one around, and Canada now back on the attack. Martin pushes that one in on the backhand side. The goaltender comes out. A nice little move by him to get it over to Sinner. Sinner head-manning it up. Lubsig offside the call, and the official is brought to the ice by Martin. Unintentional, of course. I'm going to put my teeth back in now. The official talking to the players out there and dishing out penalties to Schreiber of Canada, wearing number 8. And Sturflinger, number 13 for West Germany.
As the puck was dumped into that zone by the Canadians on that last rush, it was dumped in, and the player was taken out after the puck was dumped, and it didn't look like very guilty type play, but they both took a whack at each other, and they're going to sit out 2 minutes and think about that one.
Well, referee Morozov is starting things before they begin. Right in front. Action all around the Canadian net there as Ed Belfour had to come to the rescue once again. Both teams with a man in the penalty box. Rysattel out there for West Germany, wins it, takes that weak shot wide. Hadju goes over forward for Canada. Schlegel helping him out. The pass over. Canada now. Bobby Dallas. Hadju. Oh, a terrible pass. Intercepted nicely. West Germany now. Burke spun around, leaves it. The shot right on the target's back. And that's right in front of the net. And they just couldn't poke it through. Draisaitl was there and he couldn't poke the loose puck by Belfour. A great chance to extend their lead to 3. Burke now. Burke was right in front of the net as we approach the midway point here in the third and final period. The Canadians let off lightly. Levens now back on the attack. Both teams with a man in the penalty box. Graves tried to center that one and was taken out of the play. Kiesling now. Kiesling is squeezed out and it goes down the ice. West Germany with Trunchka right in front. They got a chance to get that shot away. And Canada come up with it. Loveson to Graves. Graves can't control that. Graves now with Dieter Hagen. Loveson has to go back for it. Loveson over the red line. Loveson now, they're trying to do it on their own. Trunchka takes him out of the play. Both teams with men in the box. Udo Kiesling. Slow build-up by the West German side as the teams change. Dieter Hagen gets it back to Wagner. Back on the ice comes Sturflinger and Schreiber. So the teams are back at full strength. Now Schreiber, fresh from that 2-minute break in the penalty box. Schreiber getting it back. Too far for anyone. Poudrier. You can hear the Canadians yell, there's a man right on you, and they were right. Jürgen Trattner was there. Martin to the far side. Wagner with Sturflinger. Shot all the way around, down the ice, and Poudrier to the far side. Bobby Dallas passes it up. Martin backhands that in as both the Canadians and the West Germans change on the fly. Kreis taken out of the play by Blaisdell. He eventually gets the pass away. Too far for anyone. Dallas, Struby. No real threat yet from the Canadians here in the third period, Richard. They've got to change their game plan somewhere along the way.
Well, this really isn't sloppy ice hockey. If you're watching this game, you're seeing tight checking. Both teams are really playing their positions well, and they're all over each other.
Hagen backhanded that as he was shadowed right down back to Belfour. He got it in front, but there was no one there to pick it up. Struby working his way in with one hand on the stick. Struby taken out of the play nicely. West Germany now come up with the puck. They played some good hockey throughout this hockey game.
Classic example there. Struby skated with the puck, skated with it until he ran himself out of room, and there still wasn't anybody open. The Germans are really covering their men.
Ross flips it around. Heru spun out of the play. Some good back-checking there by Struby as he knocks 2 men into the boards. Heru wrestles to now number 27, Danny Grattan. The shot right on the target by Struby, and that's in the net, but had the whistle gone. Lubsig throws a punch, and there's another punch from Struby, and surely we're going to have penalties. Lubsig, number 22, and Struby, number 16, got a piece of each other, and the official there dishing out the penalties now. But are they going to count this one? The first shot came from Struby. Well, it looked like a goal to me. Number 21, Huru, picked up the loose puck, and that was in the net, but had the whistle blown.
Well, there's all kinds of action there. As Huru went in for that rebound off that Struby shot, Lubsig really pushed him from behind into the net.
So Struby goes into the box along with Andreas Lipzig, who plays for Cologne. Let's take another look at this.
Breton had the puck. He left it for Struby. Snaps a wrist shot. The goalie has got it, but not clear control of it. The puck drops. There's Roux on the rebound. He appears to have put the puck into the net. Lipzig hits him late anyways. Then all chaos breaks out as there's pushing and shoving from both sides.
Well, the puck was backhanded in. It wasn't allowed, that goal. Now they're right out front, the shot, and that bobbles over the top. Of course, had he kicked that in, it wouldn't have been allowed, but it was a backhand shot that went in, but the whistle had blown. So the face-off just to the left of the goaltender, or to the right of the goaltender as he looks down the ice, to the left as we look at the goaltender. And so the score remains West Germany 2, Canada 0, with both men in the box. And the tempers are starting to flare out there, Richard. This could be good for Canada.
Well, it could be and it couldn't be, as both teams are getting very frustrated at each other. I think the Germans are doing what they want to do here. They're covering their men well, and that can be frustrating to have somebody on your back all the time.
Graves is brought down, but there's no penalty. Levens gets it in the corner. Loveson now trying to center it out to the far side. Levens back to the point. Graves keeps it in. Still, it's Canada. Number 27, Danny Grattan, brought down. West Germany back on the attack. A broken stick out on the ice. Trunchka to Bernd Trunchka as they fired in, and both teams change. Dulles getting it up on the wing. Schlegel losing control. Some good poke checking. Boisvert takes the shot, and that's kicked away nicely by Pepe Hayes. Schreiber leaving it. Boisvert circles, has a lot of space, leaves it back at the point, and that pass hit a leg and back from the West German. A 2-on-2 situation. Dieter Hagen has all the time in the world as he works it in to the far side to Udo Kiesling. Kiesling is grabbed by number 18, Bobby Dulles, and Canada comes up with a puck. Schreiber coming in on the back, he scores! Schreiber came in on the backhand side, and he made something out of nothing to bring Canada back in the game.
Well, Wally Schreiber has certainly worked hard in both of these games of this tournament. Very hard, and it finally paid off there. Great individual effort. He'd had a long shift on that ice as well. He'd been out there a while. He really kept his legs moving, took the defenseman to the outside with a nice goal in the net. There you see Schreiber, the legs are going. He's got Trunchka beat on the outside, flips the puck up and over the goalie as he went down a little bit early on that. It actually was Gerhard Trunchka who was back there trying to cover for the defenseman, not playing in his normal spot. Maybe Schreiber took advantage of that one and walked around him on the outside.
So with approximately 5 minutes to go in the game, Canada coming back with a goal to make it 2-1. Oh, that's a bit of a gift. Oh, that hit the side of the net. Jürgen Trattner was right in there. You can see the time ticking away. 4.5 minutes remaining now. And that was a gift for Trattner, but he missed the opportunity. Graves getting it up on the right wing. Canada coming back on the attack, and that stopped Coudrier. Coudrier goes all the way back into his own zone. Not a good pass from him, and West Germany have the puck. Loveson. Canada flipping it in. Not a good pass as number 3, Harold Kreis, came up to intercept that one. Nemeth takes his man out nicely in Canada with Levens, Jim Levens over the blue line. Levens getting that one right across. And they lost that one completely. Pepe Heist didn't know where that one went. The team's changing on the fly. Nemeth gets that one up as Ed Balfour came way out of his net to push that one forward. Dieter Hagen to the far side. The pressure on now, both teams. Canada desperate to tie this one up. Schlegel to Levens. And of course West Germany desperate to hang on to this lead to get their first victory of the tournament. Schlegel Over to the far side, Struby takes his time, waltzes right in, and eventually Kiesling gets a piece of him as he tried to squeeze through the two West German defensemen. Still, it's Canada. The deflection there, all the way down to Balfour. He gets it up nicely, and the Canadians with Bobby Dulles going in on the backhand side. That's right in front. Brost tried to get the handle on that, and he couldn't. And then back come West Germany. The shot, an easy one for Balfour. Kreis got some woodwork on that to the far side. Struby getting it right back to Struby. Struby takes a shot, and some good defensive work there by Harold Kreis as he went down like a goaltender and stacked his pads. The shot from number 6, Ken Loveson, is kicked away, and West Germany now back on the attack. So right now, Canada having the best of the action. Dulles gets it over. Martin chasing it. Icing the call as Harold Kreis touches it, and it'll be a face-off in the Canadian zone. Third period, Canada 1, West Germany 2.
Well, the Canadians are really attacking that zone, but the Germans are getting caught out of position as the points, the defensemen, as we'll call them, have had a lot of time to get shots off back there, and the Germans seem to be chasing the puck around, and they're not playing their positions like they have throughout this game. It's not the time for them to want to break down oppositional play now.
The line of Trunchka and Hagen out there for West Germany to contain Schreiber, Boisvert, and Martin. Two big lines for both teams. A long pass. Schreiber fell. Pokorny gets there first. The Canadians now with it out front. That's right in front. Oh, and the backhand shot by Boisvert. Wide of the target as he did everything right. And you can see Dave King's reaction. He's saying the goaltender pushed it off.
He's also yelling at the fact that that net came off and there was probably 5 seconds on the clock gone by before they blew the whistle.
Let's look and see what happened here. Well, actually, the goaltender's skate as he spun around kicked that post and kicked it free. So was he to blame? Was it an intentional shove by the goaltender?
No, it looked pretty innocent to me, actually. Serge Boisvert with a nice move to cut in front of that net. He had the play on that he wanted. He wanted to get around the goalie and put the backhander in. But as Pepe Heist was protecting that post, the net popped off.
The Canadians running out of time with Boisvert taking a shot all the way across to the far side of the rink. Martin is in front. They can't get a handle on it. It's back. A loose shot. That's in the net! Jim Levens started the shot way back at the point. Brad Martin, number 23, got a touch to put it in the back of the net. The score is level and just a few seconds remaining here in the game.
There you see Dave King yelling for that team to come over. Let's regroup. Let's get it together. There you see the replay with Levens just directing it back toward the net. It appears that Grant Martin got the tip on that, and it is behind Pepe Heist, who didn't have a chance.
So once again, we see Canada coming back into the action here. Time ticking away for both teams now. Wide open ball game here in the third and final period.
Well, with 2 minutes left in this game, it's been that line of Martin, Boisvert, and Schreiber that we've talked about so much, and it's finally come their way, and they've got 2 big goals in this game.
Well, we saw Canada come back strong and late against Sweden. It looks like they're doing it again here. It's far from over, though. In 2 minutes, anything can happen.
I don't know at this point, but this team may get that cardiac kid type name for themselves if they keep this up.
That's where everyone watching, including some of their own players, get a heart attack because they leave it so late to do anything at all. The face-off here in the Canadian zone.
They're certainly playing on the nerves of Dave King, I can say that.
2-2 the score. West Germany with goals from Tratner and Wagner, Schreiber and Martin replying for Canada here in the third period. So the face-off moved to just outside the blue line. Jim Levens taken out of the play, and he really has to get that pack up. Some good body checks there by Graves. A long pass Missed the target. Belfour bounces that one off the boards. Canada now happy to push it in to the far side. Grattan. Danny Grattan, as the Canadians continue to pile on the pressure. Grattan again. Grattan pushes that back as they circle, pick it up again and circle again. West Germany will call for a face-off here as they bump and grind along the boards and freeze that puck. 2-2 the score. This one is going right down to the wire. And again, we see the line of Boisvert, Martin and Schreiber going out there. The key line for Canada, but surely they must be tired by now.
Well, they've seen a lot of ice time tonight, but these guys are well fit, and they came here prepared to play ice hockey, and that's just what they're doing.
The Canadian national team have this 75-game schedule from September to April, and they've done close to 30 games so far. Timeout being called. They have a 30-second timeout. What will the coaches be saying out there, Richard?
Well, they're both going to be saying, look, let's get the puck in control and let's play our game. Let's get it in the opposing team's end and let's just try and control it in there. Direct the shots to the net. If we get face-off, we want it in our offensive zone, not our defensive zone at this point.
So a chance for that line with Boisvert and Martin and Schreiber to have an extra 30-second break. Kiesling, he'll welcome the break too for West Germany. The 34-year-old player who plays for Cologne, the big defenseman. He's been called on a regular basis for West Germany to perform, and he does just that. Number 3, Harold Kreis, is going out there to give him some support.
A lot of people that watch ice hockey wonder and question why and when do people change? Well, you generally change on the fly, and it's pretty well set up by the teams that you play 3 or 4 lines of attacking forwards, and every 30 to 45 seconds you change and get fresh legs on the ice.
Less than 40 seconds to go here in the game. Hagen can't get that one out. It goes into the corner. It's still Canada with the pressure on. Now, Trunchka. West Germany on the attack. Peter Hagen loses out. Canada with Martin. Shoot it to the blue line. Coming over now, and again it's punched out. Going back for it is Odelin. They've got to be careful not to give anything away. That is, both teams have to be careful. Sloppy pass from the Canadians there, being pushed along the boards, time ticking away, and there goes the buzzer to end the game. 2-2 the final score, as Dave King, the Canadian coach, goes out on the ice to shake hands with Xaver Unsen, the West German coach. Well fought from both teams. Both teams putting in a solid effort offensively and defensively. The Canadians, once again, Richard, taking a long time to get started.
That's right, they saved it till late, but they seem to have a knack for being this third period team in the 2 games that we've seen them so far. And if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. They're in there.
This is a replay of Schreiber's goal. Coming in on that left wing, the backhand side, and then he flips it to the forward side. Once again, that brought them back into the game. And then the shot from the point here, Levens and then Martin taking a slight deflection, leveled the score to 2 goals apiece. Well, I think a good result here when you look at the way the game was played. It was physical, it was fair. Morozov, the Soviet official, didn't have a lot of work to do, did he, Richard?
No, it was a pretty aggressive game. It was hard checking, but pretty clean. Most of the game, it was up and down the ice. And it was a good ice hockey game to watch. It's a kind of hockey that both coaches like to see. Good positional play.
And if you had to pick a man of the match for both sides?
Well, I really felt that for the Canadian team, Wally Schreiber played a very nice game. Did a lot of skating, worked very hard.
Well, for the West Germans, I don't know, I thought the goaltender, Pepe Hayes, played well. Join us in a moment for more ice hockey action here on Eurosport.